Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 144. It is great to be back in studio today for a fun episode. We're talking straight free agency today because it has been, well, it hasn't been a while. I would say it's been a wild free agency, but it really hasn't been. It kind of has been, I guess.
Like, it's been enough that you would think more had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're here to talk about about free agency today and a little bit of NFL and MLB stuff. But
I mean, quite a bit of NFL. I mean,
yeah.
A decent amount.
Some big NFL news, I guess. But we're coming off of 4th of July weekend. How was your 4th of July?
It was crazy. It was dumb nice here in mid-Michigan. It was like stupid nice.
It was great weather.
Yeah, we had a couple fires.
Went to the Tigers game, you did?
Yeah, So I went to the Tigers game. They can know this. And we were sitting like 29 rows up before home plate. Best seats I'd ever had. And like that is damn close. That is crazy close to the field. And they're cheap tickets, but this guy, there's like a recording group, like guys like sound mics and everything, walking up right in the aisle next to me. And then I see like the big camera, and I see this guy really nicely dressed in a nice suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, how you doing, bro?" And like fist bumped him. Turns out it was Craig Monroe. And I had like no idea who it was. And Willie was sitting next, like on the other side. And he's like, "Do you not realize who you just fist bumped?" And I was like, "I've got no clue who that is, Willie." He's like, "That dude played for the Tigers, was solid, and is now like a reporter." I was like, "Oh, really?" And it was really funny because I literally I treated him as if I would treat anybody else in the whole world. He was, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty funny.
You, though,
oh yeah, and he was something like "Enjoy the game, bro" or something. He was a super nice guy.
Yeah, Simo's great. He obviously works for Bally Sports Detroit. He does some of the games, but he mainly is just like a reporter before and after the games and stuff during the games as well. But yeah, that's awesome that you got to see that. Tigers hot right now. They just swept the Guardians, 4-game sweep after losing the series to the Royals before. So we'll see if the Tigers can pick it up. You know, who knows?
Maybe. Who knows? They're Detroit. We got to go to a game in like September.
Yeah.
When it's cooler, because like we were in direct sunlight the whole game.
Yeah.
And it was like 84 degrees
That
out.
game me and Parker went earlier this year was dumb hot too. Like,
It's just like, whoa. Like I would much rather go in September. And we were thinking we need to sit next to the bullpen so we can like chirp the bullpen.
Sit in the outfield. Yeah, that'd be cool. We went and saw the Minions movie last night. If you haven't seen the Minions yet, go watch it because it's like really good. Like
it was good.
It's the best movie I've seen in theater this year.
How many movies have you seen in theater this year?
1.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I'm trying to think. Have I made a different one? It's better than Doctor Strange.
Top Gun?
Oh,
no, you saw Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. That movie was bad.
Like Minions is better?
Oh, easily.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, I seriously enjoyed the Minions movie more. Yeah. That is not for the memes.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by the Minions.
Yeah, clearly.
I don't like Victor. All right, yeah, that's pretty much it though for our personal talk. Let's get into some sports talk. Let's start off with the NFL news since it's like the only thing we have to talk about non-basketball related. Today, Baker Mayfield gets traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Carolina Panthers for a conditional 5th-round pick that could turn to a 4th-round pick. Don't really know how that works. But Baker is finally out of Cleveland after all the drama that's been going on this offseason in Cleveland. He asked out a while ago. And we kind of pretty much said like the only 2 teams that need Baker is Carolina or Seattle, and Carolina ends up getting him. So, yeah, what do you think?
It's just such a weird move, 1 year removed from getting Sam Darnold, and he kind of showed he's not that great.
Yeah.
Like I expect him to be much better this next year than he was. It's just, man, the Panthers suck. Are they the new Browns? Or is that how bad they are? I think it's a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move for the Panthers. I mean, a 5th-round pick is nothing for this guy.
And
for
I mean,
1
Baker
year.
is definitely better than Sam
absolutely.
Darnold. He makes your team better.
Absolutely. But the Browns, we talked about this, it just in the wake of everything going on with Deshaun Watson, and it's really seeming like he's not going to play this year. And now you trade Baker, like after all this, now you couldn't like go in there and be like, "Hey, we really like if you play well, we'll keep you," kind of deal.
We need somebody.
It's just so surprising that Jacoby Brissett might be starting all this year.
And it's like, why now out of all times? Because now is like when it seems the worst odds of Deshaun Watson playing this year. You know, when you signed Deshaun Watson,
it looked good.
you were like, okay, maybe we can get rid of Baker now. There was obviously teams that were interested at the time. And who knows, maybe the asking price was never, or I mean, the price for Baker was never higher than this. But I don't know. I just feel like you probably could have gotten a better pick, or at least made the situation end better than it did now, because obviously now Cleveland fans and Baker were going at it, and it's just they shouldn't, because Baker is literally the best quarterback the Browns have had in a very long time, which is really weird to say. So Browns fans shouldn't hate Baker.
I mean, he took them to the playoffs.
He won them a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that doesn't happen in Cleveland very often.
Doesn't happen many places.
Exactly.
I mean,
and so it's just like it's a little bad how the situation ended. And now with Deshaun Watson looking like he's not going to be playing anytime soon, Jacoby Brissett has got to become the guy now. And it's just like the Browns continue to get horrible, not luck, I would say, because they knew it was coming with Deshaun Watson, but it's just, they just have issues with their quarterbacks, and we thought it was going to end. It hasn't.
yeah, I thought 2 years ago I would have told you Baker was the Browns QB for the next 15 years. And how much you love the city, and like that had never happened in Cleveland. Like you guys had, oh my God, I can't even think of all the bad QB's names. Hoyer. Was that
Brian
the one?
Hoyer was there, yeah, but he's like one of the better. I mean, he's been. You have Johnny Manziel.
Oh my God!
You have Deshaun Kaiser. You have Brandon Weeden. There's so many of them.
It's just crazy that it felt like you got your franchise QB and now have dealt him away because there was just issues all over. And Baker didn't have a great year. He basically ran OBJ out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then OBJ went out and had a great year for LA. It's a really bad look for the Browns, who looked like they were going in a great direction, and they can still turn it around. I mean, you get Deshaun not this year, but the next year you could be a great football team in 2 years. But that's a lot of butt.
And the Browns still have a good team. Like their roster is still really good. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. You have the best running back duo in the league, I would say. Your wide receiver room like isn't crazy good, but it's like nothing. It's not horrible. Your defense, you have stars on your defense, so like. They're still a good team, but it's just, I don't know. It's a weird situation. I get you probably had to trade Baker. Like, you were going to cut him either way. It sounded like he was not going to be on the Browns either way. So you can't say, like, it's a bad move to trade him, but just the whole situation in itself is just a bad look. So,
yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, the Panthers, they get an upgrade at QB. They still have Matt Corral, who they drafted, so maybe eventually he could take over after this year if Baker's only there for 1 year. But this is a big move for like DJ Moore fantasy-wise, I think. I think this definitely makes him a safer guy in fantasy. He could be like a wide receiver one, I feel like. He had a really good year last year. McCaffrey, I don't think it affects his fantasy value really at all.
Robbie Anderson might get more.
He might have to get cut low-key after what he said about Baker.
So what is that whole business? What's all that nonsense?
A couple months ago, when all this Baker talk was like first started going down, the trade talk.
Didn't he ask for like... Give us Baker?
No, it was the complete opposite. Some page was like, there's some Panthers fan page was like, the Panthers are interested in trading for Baker Mayfield. And Robbie Anderson commented on it. No. And now today they traded for Baker Mayfield. And someone asked him about it. And he tweeted something. And it was him in the press conference. And he was like, stop trying to say, I don't want Baker Mayfield here. That's just a false narrative that you're... Like, no, it's not,
you
dude.
Said it,
you
dog.
literally said you don't want him here. Like, why are you lying?
Yeah, why are you backtracking
We have
now?
the proof. So, yeah, obviously now he's going to say he never did that, but we'll see what
we
happens.
We have the screenshots,
with Robbie.
dude.
Yeah, we'll see what happens between them two because he's an interesting guy.
You can delete the comment, but the screenshots last forever.
Exactly.
They don't
I saw
die.
it today. So, that's pretty much it for football talk, though. Let's talk about basketball. As the last time we podcasted, I assume everyone knows that Kevin Durant has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. I wouldn't say shockingly, but kind of shockingly because it was looking bad, and then Kyrie opted in, and it was like, oh, everyone's coming back to Brooklyn. And then KD requests a trade, and I assume Kyrie's going to get traded. But it has been going on for about a week now, this KD trade talk, and nothing has really happened yet because after we saw, and we'll get into the Rudy Gobert trade, I think teams and just people in general are starting to realize the type of package it's going to take to trade for KD. And is it really worth to trade a package like that for KD when is your team going to be still as good after you trade so many pieces away for him?
Yeah, he only wants to go to a contender. So if you trade away all the pieces that make you a contender, he no longer wants to be with your team. And then we're just in the same spot where Kevin Durant's just going to be team hopping.
Yeah.
Until a team has enough to trade for him.
Exactly. The main teams that he said he wanted to go to was the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat. And I think the Phoenix Suns definitely do have one of the more realistic packages. Surrounded around DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, hella picks.
Just so much.
Yeah.
It just sounds so crazy.
The Miami Heat, I don't know if you don't want to give up Bam Adebayo, which I assume you don't. I feel like they don't have a realistic package. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson.
Well, they actually can't even
Nikola
trade for Bam.
Jovic. What?
They can't trade for Bam.
Who can't?
The Brooklyn Nets, because there's something with the rookie extension. You can't trade for two players who haven't gotten their rookie extension or something weird like that. Or it was like it's a weird rule. I was listening to Kenny talk about it,
That's
but it was like
weird.
the Heat can't even they can't trade for Bam. Literally cannot get Bam. But that's what Kenny said. That's what I was reading.
So, yeah, the Heat, I don't know. They don't really have a great package for Kevin Durant. I know he wants to go there, but and then the Nets said like if they were to trade KD to the Suns, they would want Devin Booker. Obviously, they're going to be asking for like crazy prices for Kevin Durant, but we were talking about this. We've never seen a guy like KD get traded at his level of talent. And especially obviously James Harden trade was a big one. That was I never saw a guy like James Harden get traded. But
KD's the step above James Harden.
Yeah, this is different. James Harden was on an expiring contract, and Kevin Durant has 4 years on his contract. 4 years of Kevin Durant, who clearly, I don't think he's shown that he's slowing down at all. I know some people think the 4 games he had in the playoffs were horrible. Whatever. He's still one of the best players in the league, and he's still just as good as he was 10 years ago. And with 4 years on that contract, you're getting at minimum, you're getting 2 years
of greatness.
Top 5 player in the league. So that's a big time price to pay for a guy like that. Now obviously he wants out, and Kyrie Irving I would assume also wants out. They're kind of like a tandem. They're still really good friends. Obviously they don't want out because of each other. But couldn't the Brooklyn Nets just run it back, low-key?
I don't see why not. If Ben Simmons intends on playing, and we haven't heard any news, Ben Simmons has gone ghost mode, deactivated his Instagram, completely went off the grid damn near. If Ben Simmons returns, you're no doubt better than you were last year. And I don't see why, and maybe you get a full year of Kyrie, and then it's why not just see what happens? Is it really that bad in Brooklyn? What is going on? James Harden pleaded, said, get me out of here. And now you got Kevin Durant, get me out of here. Kyrie a week ago was get me out of here. Yeah. It's just, Brooklyn is not a good place to be right now. I guess
not. And it started with the whole, Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets said that we are going to explore Kyrie leaving Brooklyn, whether that's him opting in and we trading him or him just leaving in free agency. And I think that's kind of what sparked everything with KD not really liking that because him and Kyrie are boys. And then Kyrie opted in, though, and it was okay, what's going on now? So, I don't know. This is just such a weird situation because they brought in TJ Warren, which is a great signing for them. It would be a great 6-man for them. Patty Mills re-signed. Nicholas Claxton re-signed. There's somebody else that they signed, too. I forget. It's an old... Oh, they traded for Royce O'Neal, before all this stuff went down.
Their team is definitely better.
Their team is better than it was last year. Yeah. And Joe Harris is going to be healthy. This team still could be good, and I don't think KD's going to get traded to a situation where that team is better than the current Nets. Maybe the Suns with a big 3 of Chris Paul, Booker, and KD. Maybe, but then you're starting Frank Kaminsky at the 5. Yeah, I don't even know if he's on that team. Yeah,
I think he is still.
Yeah,
because JaVale's not there anymore. He's in Dallas, so you got to find a new backup center. You traded away your forwards of the future, Mikal and Cam Johnson, if that's the way the trade goes. It isn't looking. It also the future doesn't look bright in Phoenix. All of a sudden you've got aging Chris Paul, aging Kevin Durant, young Devin Booker. Yeah, nobody else,
and you're gonna have no picks either.
None.
So it's obviously you're putting yourself in a win now situation. Which if you do win a chip, it's worth it, obviously. But this is just such a weird situation. And obviously there was talks that it could get extended longer because teams don't really know what the price is for Kevin Durant. If I'm the Nets, I'm asking for a lot, but at the same time, I guess you can afford to go into the season with Kevin Durant.
Why not?
Why not?
Your team's going to be fine.
But the Nets still do have to try to compete because obviously they traded away all of their next 8 years worth of picks, whether it's unprotected or swaps. to the Houston Rockets. So Rockets fans just got to be licking their chops right
Ecstatic with what's going on.
Yeah,
that'd be like if the Rams just had a collapse last year.
Yeah, exactly. We're just like, oh,
this is awesome.
Nice pick. But except the Rockets have 8 of them.
Yeah, and they have like they already have such a great young core, and that might develop into a playoff roster with a bottom tier team in the NBA, giving them their picks.
And you get 2 top picks. You know, like let's just say the Nets fall off out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you have 2 top picks for the next like 3 years.
It'd be crazy. Your team would be ridiculous.
So let's go over some trade ideas for Kevin Durant. These are made by, I have 5 of them that are from The Ringer, which are like the main teams that we've heard talking about trading for KD. And then I have a Bleacher Report article that is 5 unexpected Kevin Durant trade teams or whatever. So, yeah. Oh, and also Chris Haynes today said that KD, like he's talked to several stars around the league, and apparently KD has gone dark mode. He ain't responded to nobody. He's not talking to nobody. So
what?
So
wasn't he just active on Twitter like the other day?
Yeah, he tweeted something about Chet Holmgren last night.
Yeah,
because Chet was wearing his shoes.
Why? That's so weird. The NBA is so weird.
I guess if I was trying to get about to be traded, I don't want anybody like. But I don't know if it's guys that you want to play with. Like,
yeah, what if it's Bron? Yeah, hitting your line. Like you're
come play with. And what was up with the whole? There's a way that Kyrie and KD could end up in LA. Like,
how?
Oh yeah, there's a way that I go out on a date with Meg the Stallion.
Yeah,
facts. There is
Meg
a way.
the Stallion.
I was just thinking like. Anyways,
hot girl Meg.
Yeah. All right. The first one is the Phoenix Suns, the trade, and I guess we'll let's grade these trades on a scale of like realisticness. Yeah. Okay. Could we see this actually happening? So this is Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns for DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, 3 first-round picks, 2 first-round swaps. I'm gonna give that one like out of 10. Right? We'll go out of 10.
Yeah.
We give a letter grade.
10 is a perfect.
Yeah. I'll give this one like a 7.5, just because I think the Suns is like the most realistic team, I think. So I'll give that one like a decent, pretty good grade.
I'm gonna give it like an 8.6. Just I think you're getting a ton in return, and like the Suns are still pretty good.
Yeah,
like I can see the Suns doing that because they're still gonna be solid. Just because they can keep Cam Johnson, which is pretty big.
Right.
That's
which
a big
I don't
deal.
know if you're gonna be able to get in a trade for KD, but. The only problem with the Suns is DeAndre Ayton gets to choose where he wants to go. So that he could completely screw over everything. Like if the Spurs just offered him a bag right now out of nowhere, which is wild that he just has no interest from any other teams right now too.
It's weird that he hasn't there's no rumblings about DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
To me, he just can't be you can't pay that guy $40 million a year. He doesn't do enough offensively, and I do believe that.
Yeah.
You look at teams that have centers like him, and there aren't many that are dumb successful other than the Suns. I mean, I can't even think of another team that that's as successful as center like DeAndre Ayton. Everybody shoots threes now. DeAndre Ayton don't shoot threes. He's like super Clint Capella.
Yeah, kind of, just a little bit bigger. The next one, Toronto Raptors. Kevin Durant to the Raptors for Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., or Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, plus multiple first-round picks and multiple swaps for each deal. Interesting. I think I'm going to wipe out the second trade. I doubt Siakam gets traded back to the net, or not back to the Nets, but in a trade like that. So let's just go with the first one of Scotty, OG, Gary Trent picks.
I wonder how the money would work if you stick, because I think Fred VanVleet and Scotty makes a lot of sense to me.
Maybe, but I feel like he'd probably want to play with Freddie, though, right?
I mean, it's not about who he wants to play with.
Yeah, I know. But, the Raptors might just say, we're not trading Freddie.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Man, that is tough. I could just...
This is, the best package. So,
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to grade it. Because this is the best
Getting those
package.
three
but how realistic is it? I'm going to give it, a 5.
I don't know how much KD actually wants to be in Toronto either.
That, too. Because Toronto has the best package, but... Do you want to trade Scotty Barnes?
And you're still not in a great winning position.
No, because the East is loaded.
You're not going to the chip guaranteed.
You have a really good big three of VanVleet, KD, and Siakam.
It's really interesting, really cool to see Siakam.
Well, who else? Yeah, you have Otto Porter now.
Chris
you have
Boucher.
Chris Boucher. You have
who's the other guards?
Precious Achiuwa. You have
I can't think of another guard.
Yeah, Delano Banton. I don't know
who
any
the
other.
hell. Who?
He's just a guy on their team. Yeah, I don't know. This trade's tough because
I'm giving it like a 5.
yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 5.
I don't think you can trade. I just don't think Scotty Barnes gets traded. That's a good offer. That's a great package. But I just feel like the Raptors are gonna prioritize a guy who just won Rookie of the Year over 4 years of KD. But that sounds kind of crazy to say that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen before where the number 1 overall pick, Rookie of the Year, gets traded for an all-star like this. The other Kevin Love, we saw Andrew Wiggins, but that was before he played a game.
Right.
Scotty Barnes just won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and he proved that he
is the second best rookie in the NBA last year.
Yeah, maybe even third.
Maybe.
But yeah, that trade, I mean, the Raptors definitely have, I would say, probably the best package. Just don't know how realistic it is. Next is the Memphis Grizzlies. The trade, Kevin Durant for Jaren Jackson Jr., Dillon Brooks, 3 firsts, at least 2 unprotected, 3 swaps, and a lifetime supply of barbecue. Why is that?
What?
Is Memphis barbecue town or something?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
It's in Tennessee, so I guess maybe.
This trade is weird because Jaren Jackson Jr. just got hurt and he's having surgery and he's going to miss the first part of the season. So I don't think he can be traded. So maybe you swap him with Desmond Bane.
This trade is just not realistic.
This trade is a 2 to me.
Yeah, because
The
Memphis
Grizzlies are not going to blow it up.
There's just no reason that Memphis doesn't believe in what they've done up until this point, that they can't keep doing it. I mean, why can't they? Desmond Bane was not some crazy high pick. They can just keep going in the route they're going.
And they've drafted
got a great
3
culture.
guys already. Yeah, they draft really good players at not high picks and they become really good. So
yep. I'm gonna say 2.4.
Yeah, that's a 2 for me. I mean, that's just not gonna happen. Next, the Boston Celtics. This one's been talked about a little bit. Kevin Durant for Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams, Daniel Tice, as many picks and swaps as is necessary to wipe clean the taste of Kevin Garnett and the Paul Pierce trade.
Man, they got
they're just making it funny at this point.
They're just trying to make jokes.
I'm gonna give this one a 2 as well.
Yeah, you just made it to the championship.
You're just 2 games away from winning the finals.
And traded for Malcolm Brogdon already. Got better already this offseason. 2.
You have depth. Your team will make it to the finals. You're already young. You're getting better. No need to trade away Jaylen Brown for. Obviously, it's KD. I understand it's Kevin Durant, but
I see what the issue here is. It's not Kevin Durant's asking price. There's no realistic destination for him to go.
Yeah, you're right.
There just isn't a spot where it's that makes sense. That team's still going to be a contender. Brooklyn's getting enough back. Other than the Warriors, sadly.
Yeah.
But, it's not going to happen.
I don't think the Warriors are even in here. But, yeah, because Kevin Durant, like you said, the asking price isn't too high. It's just his worth is so high where it's not even really worth it to trade all of it away for him with how good the NBA is, how many good teams there are, and how deepness matters, I guess.
I mean, the more I think about it, that team's still pretty good.
It is.
You start Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, JT, Kevin Durant. I don't know who starts.
Al Horford still.
Yeah, Al Horford.
Was he in this?
And then you have Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh, it's not. But your team's still 7. You need 10 guys in today's league.
But that's still a really good team. I just don't think Boston does it.
They just waited to the chip. That would be crazy to trade Jaylen Brown.
It's just wild because like you said, is it worth it to trade for KD from any of these teams? Is it make sense for any of these teams? Not really.
Not so far.
Yeah. Last one, the Atlanta Hawks. This is of the regular 5 trades. Kevin Durant and Joe Harris for John Collins, Clint Capella, Bogdan Bogdanovic, 2023 and 2029 first-round picks, and whatever swaps aren't nailed into the San Antonio trade already.
I'm going to say,
because they traded away hella picks already.
You need more picks in that deal because Clint Capella and John Collins is not a future.
Right.
And who's the other guy you named?
Bogdanovic.
Yeah, that's not a future, at all. None of those 3 guys are this is our future building
And then
piece.
you don't have you have 2 picks and
that's
swaps.
That's a 1.
Yeah.
That's a 0. That's
a
the
bad
worst
one.
trade. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give that a 1 because, it would be cool if he ended up in Atlanta, but why would Brooklyn ever do that trade?
Yeah, it just makes absolutely no sense.
Makes absolutely no sense.
I'd rather Mikhail or DeAndre.
We might as well mention the Golden State Warriors because they aren't in this, the 5 unexpected teams. So, obviously, a package for KD around the Warriors would involve Wiggins, Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, Jordan Poole, It doesn't have to be all of them, but a mix of those guys. I would assume Wiggins, Poole, and Kuminga, though, are locks to be in the trade. So is it worth it to do this kind of trade for the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd still be good enough. You'd still have the depth you need. They had so many guys where it was just like, man, this guy needs minutes. You know, you said what? You said who? You said Poole, Wiseman, Kuminga?
Poole, Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, and then Wiggins.
All in the deal? All five of them?
I would assume it'd be probably 4 out of those 5.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is so. I think you could get away with Poole, Wiseman, and Wiggins damn near.
I don't know, dude.
Maybe
that's like one young player that's solidified himself.
I mean, yeah, James Wiseman.
They want
a
young all-star plus bunch of picks.
Dude, that
but
is
you have a
so
bunch of picks if
difficult.
you're the Warriors, but they're not going to be good, obviously.
Man, dude, that is tough. Is it worth it for the Warriors? I don't think so, just because they've really been emphasizing this whole rebuilding while we're still great, and it's clearly working.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well just keep doing it. Moses Moody will eventually, I don't know, dude. Will he ever start? I don't know.
Maybe.
Not on this team.
Yeah, I mean, he might be good enough to, but they just already have enough good players.
Yeah, they have so many good players.
Is it worth it? I say no. Would I be mad if it happened?
Hell no.
No,
It'd be
I would
awesome.
be. I think it would be awesome if it happened. But I think I honestly kind of think it would be a dumb move for the Warriors to do this. You just won the finals without Kevin Durant, and then you have hella young guys that like are getting better. Didn't even play in the playoffs. Jordan Poole didn't play very good in the finals, and you still won. Like he's obviously going to continue to get better. Like
Kuminga is going to be a monster.
Kuminga is going to be a monster eventually. Who knows about James Wiseman? Like, you never know. Kevon Looney just re-signed with you. He's coming back. Like,
you did lose your best player, Nemanja Bjelica.
Yeah. You did lose Gary
him.
Payton, too. They brought in DiVincenzo, but, like,
he's just
he ain't Gary Payton.
I mean, he's
no.
pretty close.
Yeah, but he ain't Gary Payton.
No, he isn't. And probably not after the injury.
But I just don't think it's kind of a dumb move, I think, if you're the Warriors to do that trade. Obviously, it's Kevin Durant, so, like, it's probably not... There probably isn't a move that is a dumb move to get Kevin Durant.
Like, that Golden State team definitely wins a chip still. Like, either way.
They at least win a chip, but, like, is that what you're going for?
And you get 4 years of KD.
Or are you going for, all right, we got, like, 2 years left of Clay and Dre, and then it's going to be the Steph show with all of the rest of these young guys?
Yeah.
You know?
You think Steph or Clay and Dre only have, like, 2 more years?
I was just saying, like, hypothetically. Like,
Yeah.
2 more years of, like, being good players still. I think Dre probably has longer than Clay, but who knows? I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
like,
me and Paul were
Steph
discussing this.
will last for a long time.
So, real quick, do we think this is realistic? Rated out of 10.
Oh, like that Warriors trade?
I'm going to say like a 2.
I was gonna say like a 4.5 because the only reason why I would say yes is because he has a relationship with those guys. He clearly enjoyed playing with them, and the package is really good. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's just would the Warriors actually want to do it? Probably not.
So
If they would have lost the finals,
it would have been
maybe
different.
yes, but
Yeah.
they won, so
Yeah.
like they don't need to do this.
And won pretty handedly after
Yeah.
the first couple games. Me and Paul were talking about this. How quickly, when do we think it's going to happen that Clay gets moved to the bench and comes off the bench?
Yeah.
Do we think it happens? Or do you think they just keep rocking with Jordan Poole off the bench for like ever?
I think you keep rocking with Jordan Poole like forever.
And I think it makes sense just because he gives Steph so much like rest when he does come in. But man, dude, Steph.
I mean,
Poole,
eventually Clay
Wiggins.
has to come off the bench, right?
Yeah, and like you just start Poole instead of him, and then you start Wiggins, Steph, Poole, Draymond, Kevon Looney, and that's just like the most
Maybe
hilarious.
eventually James Wiseman.
That's just the most hilarious starting lineup of a good team ever.
I know.
Like, it is so weird that team just won a ring.
And like, does Clay eventually just turn into like Ray Allen, like how
Yeah.
he was at the end of his career?
Just
But
strictly.
I just can't see Clay, Dre, or Steph not in
Me
a
either.
Warriors jersey.
Me either.
And if they're in a Warriors jersey, they're not going to be riding the bench playing 0 minutes.
Facts.
Like,
They're like
going to
front
be
pieces.
starters.
Yeah. It's so,
it's just,
weird.
It's like it's weird, but at the same time, it's like
Eventually,
they drafted these guys for a reason.
Yeah.
Like they didn't just draft these guys and they're like, all right, once these guys retire, then you can start playing. Like, no, eventually these guys are gonna start getting big time minutes. Like
Kuminga has to next season get huge minutes.
he did for a stretch, obviously when Draymond was hurt, and he looked really good.
Yeah, he did.
And Moses Moody, I think, has looked pretty good in his very minimal minutes as well. Wiseman is the question mark, and if he looks really good,
then you're screwed.
Oh God! Like what do you do?
You trade the older pieces. You don't trade the young guys. You trade Clay.
But do you know you can't trade Clay? You can't though. Like what else? Who's also taking Clay at the same time too?
Yeah, facts. I guess
$30 million or whatever he's making.
But like you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get what you're saying.
So at some point you have to make a basketball move. Not a what's right. Because what is right is Clay starts till the day he's done in their Warriors jersey. But basketball move, his clock is like, I think it's winding down quickly.
I would say so too. Like definitely quicker than I imagined, but obviously the 2 injuries doesn't help.
Yeah.
But
and when do you think When do you think Kuminga just comes in and starts over Draymond?
I don't know. Draymond is a wild factor to me because like Klay Thompson, I think it's been visible that he like definitely regressed. Like he's still good. Like he had everyone that was shitting on him in the finals, he still had a really good finals. Like he just wasn't the Klay that we knew.
Yeah, he's just he's much more of a role player now than he ever has been.
Draymond is different because he has always been like the machinery behind that team. Like he has always like ran the team. He's the defensive anchor. He gets the team going. Obviously, he's like he can't score at all. Obviously, we know
it's
that.
Like hilarious.
Yeah, but I don't know. Draymond's a weird one. Like I could see him retiring soon and just going full time into this media thing that he's big in. And I could also see him playing until he's 40.
Yeah, me too.
Clay is a guy who I feel like will retire early. Like I just think he will.
I feel like Wiggins could at some point take over what Draymond Green does. And maybe not on the level he does, but like they were running a lot of the offense through Wiggins this year where he'd have the ball and Draymond would just be offsetting screens. And I would like to see Wiggins slide more into that role and slide Kuminga into the Draymond
play
role.
Wiggins small ball 4 or and just start Kuminga too. Like
I don't see why. And he's just so young. And Draymond, imagine Draymond as a 6th or 7th man. He'd be stupid good off the bench. Like he'd be perfect off the bench. And he could still finish games. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Today, with the younger kids, this is pretty funny. You mentioned Draymond, he can't score. With the kids, there was a rule, like me and another coach were playing. And the rule was coaches can't score. Well, all the kids knew this. So I literally was playing like Draymond Green. They know he's not going to shoot it. Now try to be an effective offensive player. It is damn hard. Like, it is so hard to be effective when they know you cannot score the ball. So hard.
I believe it.
I mean, I'm still a great passer. Like, I still looked like John Stockton mixed with Isaiah Thomas mixed with, blah, blah, blah. But, man, I have so much respect for Draymond. It is difficult what he does.
But you get to save all your energy for defense.
You do, and I was clamps. I'm clamps like normal.
Yeah, the Warriors, I mean, I could sit here and talk about the Warriors situations all day because it's just like there's so many situations that can happen.
They're like the Lions of the NBA. They're just so interesting.
Yeah.
Just so interesting.
All right, so we're going to move on to the 5. What?
You didn't just hear what I did? The Warriors are the Lions of the NBA.
That's why I was trying to make it sound like it was casual. Like, duh. Obviously the Lions are the Warriors. 5 unexpected Kevin Durant landing spots. I'm going to be a little bit more graceful on the grading here because
these are unexpected.
Yeah, they're unexpected. They're doing it unexpected on purpose.
This is crazy.
These are crazy. Yeah, so I'm going to give them like a little... I'm going to put it on the unexpected scale.
Yeah.
Like, how unexpected is this while also still, like, I low-key expect it, you know?
So it was a 5, a perfect score?
Yes. All right. First is the Chicago Bulls. The Brooklyn Nets acquire DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Kobe White, 3 first-round picks, and a first-round pick swap for Kevin Durant.
Dude, I feel like that is low-key a better trade than some of the other ones we had been seeing.
Yeah?
Like, that makes the Nets still...
DeMar's still good, but he's...
DeMar and Simmons next to each other.
Yeah, dude.
That is not working.
With Nick Claxton in the
paint,
That is
not working. No way in hell. Oh, man, but it's better than some of the other trades.
Yeah,
low-key.
It is. That's better than, like, the Hawks one.
Yeah, for sure.
Patrick Williams, like, is still a young guy. Kobe White is obviously a young guy, but I think we've seen what we've seen from Kobe White. I mean, who knows? Maybe a change of scenery could help him out.
But you give more picks in that deal. I don't think that's a bad trade. I'm going to go with, like, a 6.
I'm going to give it, like, I'll give it a 6 as well. I don't mind it because DeRozan and obviously KD and Levine, I think, are pretty good friends from playing Team USA and stuff. So, yeah, that one's not bad. I don't mind that one.
Not bad at all.
This one is the Denver Nuggets. It's a 3-teamer, though, so.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
It's really tough for me to follow along on this.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
Yeah, I'm focused.
The Denver Nuggets received Kevin Durant and Eric Gordon from the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, it's simple.
The Houston Rockets.
KD.
The Houston Rockets receive Ben Simmons
Oh, God.
and Zeke Naji.
Okay.
And
So
the
Ben
Brooklyn
Simmons.
Nets receive. Don't diss my boy Zeke Naji like that. The Brooklyn Nets receive Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, 3 first-round picks, and a couple of them are like the Brooklyn Nets' own picks that Houston has, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess that makes sense.
And then, like, they get their own picks back. And then 2 pick swaps.
So that is like the blow it up trade.
Yeah.
That's the we're not going to win anymore
Right.
type deal.
You get MPJ. I don't think this is enough. I don't know.
Getting your 3 picks back, though, allows you to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I think 2 of them are their own picks. One of them is 2023 Milwaukee pick, which will be nothing. So
I'm going to give that like a 4. I don't
Yeah.
think that's awful. That's definitely a blow it up option.
maybe if you also got Zeke Naji, like instead of him going to the Rockets as well.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
the
you're giving
Rockets
up,
are-
You're giving up Simmons, too.
You're
Like,
telling me you can't like get Sengun from the Rockets?
Yeah. Or like even just like Kenyon Martin Jr. or
Like some
you're
young
getting
player
Simmons
off their
back,
roster.
so like you can give away one of your forwards. They didn't trade away a single player in this, yeah. Or I guess they traded away Eric Gordon, actually, yeah.
and the picks are definitely huge.
Yeah.
Because it allows them, again, to change direction. Hey, we're going to allow you to rebuild
Yeah,
now.
true. That is a very good point. So
Like, those are huge.
that's an interesting trade. You know what? I'm actually gonna give that one also a 6.
Respect.
If Michael Porter Jr. didn't like suck before he got hurt last year, this would be much more realistic trade. But I think Michael Porter Jr. still has a pretty high ceiling.
Me too.
He still has the injury issue.
He has a low floor, though.
Yeah,
He definitely could be
Probably.
pretty bad.
just not as good as we think.
Yeah.
This one I think is gonna be pretty good. I hope. The New Orleans Pelicans,
Dude, and again, this one shouldn't be unexpected. I think they have a great package.
But do they even want to do it though?
No.
That's what makes
but,
it
yeah,
unexpected.
let's go.
The trade. No, I'm just kidding. The Nets received Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels, and 3 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. Low key, I think that's a pretty good offer.
Say it again.
Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels, 3 first-round picks.
What a great offer.
And the 2023 is the swap that the Pelicans have with the Lakers. So, like, if the Lakers just blow again, you
Dude,
get the Lakers pick.
What a great move. That would be such a good trade for both. That might make the
Can you
most
convince
sense.
Pelicans fans to trade away Brandon Ingram
Hell yeah.
after he just like was the leader of your team after Zion missed the whole year last year, had a breakout year, took you to the playoffs? Can you convince your fans of that's a good move? Probably.
I mean, KD is just better
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, he is. 100%.
He's just the same guy.
I think it's a great trade.
I think that trade is. You might have to give up more than who could they give up more than Trey Murphy? Like just a slight upgrade in the young player.
like Herb Jones, but
Oh, it's
I don't
too
think.
big.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah.
Like I think Trey Murphy is like
Yeah.
a good fit there
Yeah.
because trading away Dyson Daniels is huge. I mean, the guy was just taken as a top 10 pick in the draft. So, and then if you're the Pelicans, you have a lineup of CJ, Herb Jones, KD, Zion, Jonas Valanciunas.
That team is
Yeah,
huge.
with your bench of
Jose.
Monte Graham, Jose Alvarado, Jackson Hayes. I don't know if he re-signed. He's a restricted free agent.
Isn't
so.
he in jail?
No, he never went to jail. We've had this
Oh.
conversation probably 4 different times.
I don't believe that.
But I think I don't know if he's still on the team or not, but because I think he was a free agent. Who are some other like backup players on that team? Like, actually, I really don't know any.
Me either. From there, they're who's their backup big?
Willie Hernangomez.
Oh, yep. They might as well sign Wancho.
They might as well. He's a free agent.
Bo Cruz.
Yeah, Bo Cruz. Holy shit, it's Bo Cruz.
Holy shit, Bo Cruz.
That's a good one. I'm giving that one a 7.
I'm giving it like a 7.6.
Because the thing is, none of these deserve a higher rating than like an 8 because there isn't a realistic enough, like not even realistic trade, but just a realistic move that makes sense.
The Nets probably still aren't getting enough back. I mean, Trey Murphy hasn't proved much, and Dyson Daniels has
but
proved
he was
nothing.
only a rookie.
And
was down.
Brandon Ingram is like huge. That's
BI is like a solidified young all-star. He's like the best out of these trades that we've looked at. He's the best player piece so far.
so you could start.
I would argue he's the best piece out of any trade we've seen. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, what's a
He's
better
the best
piece?
young player.
Ingram or Jaylen Brown from the Celtics trade?
Damn. I'm gonna say Ingram.
If I'm the Nets,
I'm taking
give
Ingram.
me Ingram. Who's better? That's a question that's different.
I'm gonna say Ingram's been in the number one player role.
That's exactly what I am thinking.
Before, so like I can just do it again. But Ben Simmons, Ingram, Kyrie, Joe Harris, and Nick Claxton.
I mean, I assume Kyrie gets traded, right?
I mean, he doesn't have to if he wants to stay.
True. Yeah, I guess if he wants to stay.
If they get Brandon Ingram back, he might want to.
It seemed like he wanted to get traded too, but
there hasn't been much talk about
that
him.
one's a good one. You still have, then you get Dyson Daniels too. I don't mind that.
That's a great trade.
Next one, the New York Knicks.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
No way. They're gonna trade for Kevin Durant.
All right, the Nets receive R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Evan Fournier, and 4 first-round picks. One of them is our first-round pick that I forgot that they have, which that's the worst pick ever because it's like top 20 protected for the next 5 years, I think.
They probably didn't even know.
But then they're 2023, 2025, 2027, all Knicks picks for Kevin Durant. Not bad. R.J. Barrett obviously is like a huge young piece that is in this trade. I think you'd have to throw in a few more of those young pieces. You got to throw in maybe Cam Reddish, maybe Emmanuel Quickly. Who did they draft? Oh, no, they didn't draft
Quickly
anyone.
has to be in the deal.
Probably.
You can't get away with doing that. That's robbery if you got away with how Quickly in the deal.
Now, obviously, you're trading Obi Toppin, but then if you're the Knicks, what is your team? Jalen Brunson, KD, and Randall?
Mitch Rob.
Is that team anything more than the 6th seed?
No.
That team is much worse than the Nets team currently.
Yeah, easily.
Much worse.
Easily.
So,
Man, that's an awful trade.
I know,
because you're not giving up enough. The Knicks still aren't giving up enough.
No.
That trade, no way they're giving up enough, especially compared to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like a 2.
I'll give it a 4 because RJ Barrett at least it's better than the Hawks one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. You're right.
Yeah, it's still not good. It's definitely still not good. Last one, Philadelphia 76ers. It's teaming back up with James Harden. What if him and Kyrie somehow both got on Philly? They just all were teammates. On the
Hey guys,
with Embiid. Brooklyn Nets received Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, 3 first-round pick swaps for Kevin Durant. Because I don't think they have any other actual picks. So maybe 1 or 2 picks.
No.
I'm gonna give this one a 3 because I just don't see KD getting traded to Philly after everything that happened with the Nets and Sixers already. Maxey is a huge young piece in this trade. Obviously, I think everyone believes Maxey has that all-star potential. Tobias Harris keeps you kind of relevant, I guess, until his contract is up. Matisse Thybulle isn't much of a young asset anymore.
He's just such a bad shooter.
And is he gonna get any better? No. So.
Man, that's a tough trade right there because I don't even know how good. I think Maxey is could be an all-star potential player, but I don't know, dude. The East is just loaded for him to be an all-star.
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Yeah, you're right.
Trae Young, Cade. He's not ever gonna be better than Cade, kind of him.
No, he won't.
And then LaMelo.
But duh.
I guess that's a 4th. And Fred VanVleet, you get a 4 guard spot. I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. But it's just still not enough. Tobias Harris is he's kind of a bad piece to be in that trade.
He just has to get for the money.
Yeah.
Maybe you find a 5th team or a 3rd team, not 5th team. You find a 3rd team to send him to.
And give you more picks.
And that's the thing. We just went through all of those trades. Do I see any of those happening?
No.
So will he get traded? No.
No.
I mean, what team was that make? The Warriors one is the one that I think makes the most sense.
And
that
it's
one
not
still
gonna
doesn't
happen.
make any sense. So will KD be traded anytime soon? I struggle to think he will.
Yeah, I don't think we should sit around, twiddle our thumbs, and wait for KD to get traded.
It's
We
just
should
when
act,
it happens, it happens.
We should act as if KD will start on the Brooklyn Nets
Yeah.
this next season because I believe there's a great chance that happens.
I think so too.
There's just not enough out there.
If you're the Nets front office, you got to try to convince them, KD and Kyrie, because even after what went down with Kyrie, you got to say, look, Kyrie, we're sorry, whatever. You guys should come back.
Yeah, please.
Because there's no team that's going to want what you're worth.
Yeah.
And our team could still be pretty damn good if we come back, if you guys come back. So
I wonder if there's any isn't there Steve Nash drama with Kyrie?
I don't know.
I think there might be slight Steve
There might
Nash
be.
drama.
I don't really know though.
Me either.
All right. Let's talk about some other signings that have happened across the NBA. just quickly before we get into our winners and losers of free agency, Bradley Beal signed a 5-year, $251 million super max deal and got a no trade clause. Only the 10th player ever to get a no trade clause. So he's getting the Duffy to stay in Washington. So shout out to him. Just some other guys that got the absolute duff. Anthony Simons, 4-year, $100 million. Bag alert for Anthony
Shout
Simons.
out that guy.
That's awesome. Because I think that is a straight potential bag right there. Like, so that's a big deal for him. I guess there's not any other big ones. Like, everyone else is just small deals. Like, I wrote down a bunch. Marvin Bagley is back on the Detroit Pistons, 3-year, $37 million. Great deal. I would assume the third year is some sort of option, whether it's team or player. And then Kevin Knox on a 2-year, $6 million deal. Great signing. Another, like, you might as well try and see if you're still good. If not, we'll ship you off. It's like Dennis Smith Jr., like,
Josh
tried with
Jackson.
Bull, Josh Jackson. Like, we've had several project guys.
Most of them have worked out.
Bagley was a project. Like,
Yeah, and he's a great player.
He has worked out.
Dude, that is such a good contract for Bagley.
I know.
Like, that's a cheat code.
I
He
think
might
it is
not.
too.
He might opt out if it is a player option third year. I bet we won't be giving him that.
That's fine.
I've got a good feeling he'll be wanting more.
Probably, but hopefully that means that's a good thing though that he gets better. And then obviously Jalen Brunson signed the huge 4-year, $104 million deal. But let's talk about the big news quickly. To Malcolm Brogdon was traded to the Celtics for like nothing, too, which is nice.
Pretty hype.
Rudy Gobert gets traded from the Utah Jazz to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What a blockbuster trade this was, because it was like Brian Windhorst did his whole, what's going on in Utah, out of nowhere, when literally you and me were saying like, dude, what is, like, we were like a day before that, we were like, I gotta sneeze.
You ain't gotta sneeze.
I
You ain't
know,
gotta
I know.
sneeze.
All right,
You
but
ain't gotta sneeze.
Like a day before that, we were like, what happened to all the Utah talk? Like, I thought them guys were going to get
really
traded.
funny.
And then out of nowhere, like when the whole KD stuff is going down, Brian Windhorst is like, yeah, but what about Utah? What's going on over there in Utah?
Nobody is talking about what's going on in Utah.
And then Rudy Gobert gets traded for maybe the craziest package I've ever seen a negative asset get traded for ever. Because Rudy Gobert has been one of them guys that the last 2 years he's been in trade talks, and we don't really know. We never knew what his trade value was, because yes, he is one of, if not the greatest defensive anchors / rim protectors in league history. But he struggles offensively. He can't really do anything on offense. He got played off the floor in the playoffs the year prior. They lost in the first round, and he's on a horrible contract. Like, he's getting paid 40, maybe 50 million when he's like 33.
Awful. For a guy who can't score the basketball.
Yeah. And so that's why it's like, okay, what is he worth? Obviously, there was a market for him this year because there's teams that do need. I think the league has proven the last so many years that the team that wins a championship, you need rim protection. You need a defensive anchor, and that's proven. Rudy Gobert just hasn't been a part of any of those teams. But he gets traded to the Timberwolves for Jared Vanderbilt, Patrick Beverly, Malik Beasley. I'm trying to do this all off the top of my head. Walker Kessler, who just got drafted like 18th overall.
Kessler Walker.
Plus 4 first-round picks. I think that was it. Yeah, 4 first-round picks.
I thought it was 5.
The 5th was Kessler.
Oh, yeah.
And the one in 2023, 5, and 7 are unprotected first-round
Ridiculous.
picks, which we saw unprotected picks get moved in the Hawks move for DeJounte Murray. And that was weird. Like, we don't see unprotected picks get thrown around ever anymore. Like, even the Nets picks that got traded to Houston, some of those have protections. So, like, this is just the craziest trade I've seen in a while in the NBA.
It really throws a wrench in the KD trade, because now the Nets are going, holy shit, man. Look at what the Jazz got for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And, like, totally right. Like, you're not wrong in thinking that. It is just so weird to think he got that much. Like, they got that much in return. They got a freaking bag for him. And it's Rudy Gobert. Like, for 2 years, he's been a negative asset in most people's minds. Because all you do is 5 out him.
Like, he's a good player, but, like, as far as on the trade market, like, is he worth even trading?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Oh, man, this is a weird move. It definitely, I think it makes the Timberwolves better. I don't know where their ceiling is for better.
I just don't know. Like, I've been trying to think of that. Like, does it make them better? Because Gobert obviously is great, and this does allow Cat to really focus on offense even more. Like, you don't got to guard the big men anymore. Yes, I think Cat, even though he's like slow, I think he honestly is better off out on the perimeter guarding fours than he was guarding big men inside. But you lost all your depth. Patrick Beverley was the heart and soul of Minnesota, gone. Jared Vanderbilt was your like defensive ace, who he was the one guarding the big men all the time anyways, gone. Malik Beasley, yeah, he wasn't really that good anymore.
Yep.
So that is fine that you traded him. Walker Kessler, who you just drafted first round, gone. And then 4 picks, like that is just you are really banking on the fact that this is going to work. And I don't even know if it's going to work.
I don't think, to me, if trading 4 first-round picks, you better be trading to win a championship.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves are not close.
The Atlanta Hawks, I think that move, I know everyone's got question marks about that one. I think that is a more towards a championship move than this one was.
Agreed. You just haven't shown enough to go out and get Rudy Gobert. You haven't said, man, we would make the finals if we had one missing piece. All we need is a Rudy Gobert. You didn't. You were nowhere near that. Like, you got bumped in the first round. We're in the play-in.
Like, you made that jump, but like maybe ride it out another
year.
This move obviously really relies on you are relying on Anthony Edwards to take that super duper star jump, which I think he already is in that superstar. Like, he wasn't an all-star last year, but like we obviously know he's gonna be an all-star either this year or the next. Like, he's gonna be a superstar in the league eventually, but you're relying on that to happen now or like the year after. Like, he needs to be a top whatever player in the league soon. And it's just like, I don't know if that's you're hoping for a lot. Like, I think he obviously is going to get there eventually. How soon though? I don't know. I'm surprised D'Angelo Russell wasn't in the trade either. So like,
it's a dub for them to hold on to.
Yeah, like
your starting lineup is
your starting
stupid.
5 is great. Yeah, of D'Lo, Ant, probably Jaden McDaniels or like Taurean Prince. You have Kyle Anderson now too.
You can't start Kyle Anderson, Rudy.
Yeah, that's
you
bad.
would get torched.
You got to start Taurean Prince or McDaniels for sure. And then Cat and Gobert. But off the bench, who do you have?
Nobody.
No one. You have the 2 guys that I just mentioned that are going to start. Like,
that are too slow to play next to your stars.
As a center, like, and the part is just, will Gobert and Cat even work? That's the worst part. Like, will it even work? I don't know. Risky move for the Timberwolves, though, 100%.
You go to the East where the DeJounte Trey went, and that makes total sense. That feels like it's going to work, at least in my eyes. I
think so, too.
It's definitely more likely to work than Gobert and Cat.
Yeah.
Like, it's way more likely to work. This is just a scary move for the Timberwolves, who have made the playoffs twice since 2004. It's really scary for a team that was going so well. And Pat Bev, you should have kept on the roster for as long as possible, for as little money as possible.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to trade that guy.
So let's talk about winners and losers of free agency, and then we'll wrap things up. This is just obviously what we think. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the Timberwolves will be a winner. Who knows? But let's get into it. Your first winner.
My first winner is going to be the Boston Celtics. Upgrading your backup point guard to Malcolm Brogdon is stupid.
Probably
nothing.
the best 6 man in the league right now. Like, just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Oh,
I think so.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, but I don't think it's far off.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah. So you get that guy for 5 guys who weren't in your rotation on your championship team. Great move. Great move. That's a no-brainer to me. I know Aaron Nesmith has a future, but he doesn't have a present.
He didn't play for them,
He doesn't have a present, so who cares?
Yeah, I got Celtics as a winner. Absolute dub. They also got Danilo Gallinari from the buyout market after he was bought out by the Spurs.
40% three-point shooter.
Pickup, yeah. And you got rid of Daniel Tice, who was a good backup, but he was eating up too much of your money he didn't really play that much, in the playoffs.
And Rob Williams is emerging superstar.
Exactly. So you can still run your great starting 5 of Marcus Smart, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Williams, and now your bench has gotten even better with Malcolm Brogdon, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, Danilo Gallinari. Their backup center, it doesn't really matter because Horford or Williams will usually be in the game at all times. So great move from the Celtics, 100%.
Yeah, it's like genius. Like one of the best moves we've seen in a while.
Definitely. First loser.
A loser?
Yeah.
I have the... you do a loser. I got to think off the top of my head.
My first loser is pretty obvious. The Brooklyn Nets are losers because of this whole situation. And in the long run, you're probably not going to get what KD is worth, I would assume. And then Kyrie Irving, the only team that even wants him is the Lakers. And it's like, you're gonna have to take on Westbrook. So do you want to? No.
No.
Maybe I guess, but I also saw something today that the Spurs might have interest in getting involved in a 3-team trade to eat Westbrook and try and what do you mean by that?
Pause.
But that would be cool. I mean, the Spurs are trying to suck anyways. Let him go play on the Spurs,
Yeah,
be nuts
facts.
again for 1 year.
It'd be
and
pretty
then
cool to see
Kyrie
him in a
would end up
Spurs
on the
jersey.
Lakers.
Spurs
But-
got nice jerseys.
So you got to hope the Spurs help you out, but the Nets are for sure a loser at this moment.
Yeah, I got my loser. The New York Knicks. You overpaid for a guy who will never be worth what that money is. If you were paying a guy as much as you paid him, he better be like the second best player on a championship team. And Jalen Brunson, I don't think can be that.
Yeah.
Granted, he did show
Low-key,
flashes.
he was the second best player on a Western Conference Finals team.
and he was. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
but
great
you have
point.
Luka, though.
But
Like,
you're playing
now
next to-
your best player is. I don't even think it's Julius Randle. I think it's
think
RJ
Jalen-
Barrett. I think Randle has fell to the third slot.
It could end up being Jalen Brunson
It
by
low-key
the
might
end of the
be
year.
Jalen Brunson,
And
yeah.
if you were paying that much for a guy to be your best player and
But
only
he's not
be
Brunson's
Jalen
level,
Brunson,
yeah.
oh man, that's an awful move. That's a terrible move.
Yeah.
It just isn't right. Everything's wrong about that.
My next winner is the Philadelphia 76ers. Somehow convincing James Harden to take the pay cut so PJ Tucker
Yeah.
can come sign
I
with
was
you.
gonna bring them up.
W. I mean, you get Daniel House, who's wearing Ben Simmons' number, by the way. So looks like Simmons will never end up back in Philly.
Nope.
I really thought he would.
I thought there was a chance.
And then Harden still obviously hasn't signed his new deal yet. So maybe it's a horrible deal and then they end up being a loser, but I don't think it's going to be. I mean, he literally is taking less money. So, yeah, getting PJ Tucker, you traded for DeAnthony Melton. You've made some good moves so far. Yeah, I like what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a team that I didn't expect to be here. The LA Lakers have so far made a lot of great moves with no money.
Yeah.
Juan Toscano, and you got to help me here because I don't have the names in front of me.
Juan Toscano, Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown Jr.,
Troy Brown was the one I didn't like. I missed
Thomas
him.
Bryant. They got
that's
today.
the four right there.
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant, Juan Toscano, Anderson are huge upgrades. Those guys can give you quality minutes right now. Lonnie Walker was statistically the worst defensive player in the NBA last year.
Actually?
Yeah, like worse than Trae Young. That's how
And
bad
he
he
can't
was.
really shoot that much either.
So, like, I don't know how much help he is.
Yeah, like it's a pretty big downgrade from Malik Monk.
But
And
Troy
that's saying
Brown
a lot.
can shoot the shit out the rock.
And he can play defense.
So,
too.
like, I think that's for you having literally nothing to work
Yeah.
with. Great job, Lakers.
Sucks to say, it sounds like Carmelo Anthony won't be back because number 7 is being taken by Troy Brown Jr. So I hope Melo. I want to
Finds
say
a
I hope he
home.
just retires, but he never got his farewell tour, and like
He needs one.
he does need one. Like D
He's a
Wade got
legend.
one, Melo should get one. But where's he gonna go play? Like the Lakers kind of seemed like no, just go back to
Dude,
the Knicks.
yes,
bro.
I was just gonna
Yeah,
say
go
that.
back to the Knicks.
Playing that would be fire.
Yeah.
RJ at the 2, Melo at the 3, Randall
I mean,
at
he
the
don't
4.
gotta start, but
He does too. He's freaking Melo.
yeah, go back to the Knicks though, Carmelo. My next loser, another obvious one, the Timberwolves. Unfortunately, the Timberwolves. I get what you're trying to do. I respect the ballsy play, but it's just a little too
Early.
like what team was. I just wonder why the 4 first comes into play. Like if you would have just moved Beverly, Vando, Walker Kessler, Beasley, and like a pick, I would have
different.
still been like, okay, like giving up Vanderbilt kind of sucks, but whatever. Like, you know, it's a good move. But like, was there a team out there offering the Jazz 4 firsts and like a shitty player, and you were like, we
Shit.
can top that? You know, I don't think so. Like, I just wonder why the 4 pick. Like, did the Jazz like just trick you? They just say like, yeah, we.
Miami Heat got 3 for us
this
right
other
now.
team's offering us like so many, dude. Like you should just go nuts. And then they did, and they're like, "Whoa, I didn't expect that to happen."
I think the huge, and they're going to be one of my losers too. I think one of the huge issues here is Pat Beverly. He came, poured his heart and his soul into your franchise, and you tossed him to the side like a piece of shit. Like he is not worth a damn.
Yeah.
And I don't get that. He changed the culture. You had guys who didn't want to play defense who sucked.
And then fans like everyone in the league,
Yeah.
fan bases hates Patrick Beverly, but then Minnesota fans, they loved him.
Yeah.
That's the perfect dude you want. You want a dude that your team like is. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't like Patrick Beverly, like,
Yeah.
like I clearly just said. Like, if you have a guy on your team that your fan base likes and he's hated across the league, I think that's like what you want.
Dub.
Yeah.
Dub.
But now he's gone.
Now he's gone.
Hopefully Utah fans like him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Winner. I go winner.
Go winner.
Hawks. I love the move for DeJounte Murray. I really do. Like, I think they could easily blossom into one of the best backcourts in the NBA very quickly. I don't see why people are so like nervous about it, because there's no reason. I mean, we've seen Steph next to another primary ball handler, Jordan Poole, this past year. DeJounte Murray is way better than Jordan Poole is.
Yeah, but you Steph and Trae Young, you can't compare, though. Like, they're much different.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Trae is much more of an on-ball scorer. But why?
I do agree with you.
Why can't he translate his game to being a spot-up shooter for possessions? And think about the wrench that throws on. Playing 48 minutes of basketball the exact same way for all 48 minutes, it can make it really tough to win. Now let's throw different options at you. This possession, DeJounte is going to have the ball. Next possession is Trae Young. Trae Young's going to run off 6 screens this play and catch and shoot this thing.
Yeah.
I compared him and Steph just because it's Trae's only comparison in NBA history, in my opinion. I don't know another guy you can compare him to. But I think that's going to work in Atlanta. I really do.
I think so, too. I understand where the question marks come from, because Trae Young, like, had the ball in his hands the most last year. He had the highest usage rate, led the league in points and assists. Like, clearly he has the ball a crap ton. And DeJounte Murray was, like, top 5 in usage rate as well last year. But that was also DeJounte Murray's, like, first year of being the dude last year. Like, he has never been that way. So he's used to playing off the ball 100%. So
Yeah.
I think it is going to work. You got to somehow convince DeJounte Murray to become somewhat of a spot-up shooter, though, because he's going to need to be. But like you said, I think that Trae Young can take a little more of a shooter role rather than a pull-up shooter role. Like, but obviously he's still Trae Young. Like, he's gonna get his assists and have the ball. But yeah, I think it's gonna work just fine. My next winner, the Los Angeles Clippers. I think literally doing nothing, bringing your guys back healthy, and then getting John Wall for the 2-year, like $11 million or something mid-level. W.
Yeah.
You brought back Ivica Zubac. They could still make a trade because they have like Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris's money to maybe make a trade for a good player if they want, but they don't have to. I think the Clippers are the for sure Western Conference favorite, or the Warriors. Clippers and Warriors, I think, are the 2 for sure Western Conference favorites right now, because the Clippers are healthy and they added John Wall, who I think is going to show that he's still really good. So I like the Clippers as a winner.
For sure. I'm trying to think of another loser.
Yeah.
Who's another loser? Who sucks?
I know. I'm trying. There really isn't any. It's hard to. You can maybe think of like a player, I guess. But
Yeah, it's a loser.
I have a winner player, but I
feel bad for Kayvon Herter. Like, oh man.
Yeah, going to Sacramento. And Malik Monk just went there.
Yeah, like you're in a loaded. I mean, you're a 2-3, I guess. But yeah, man, Kayvon might be out the league in a couple of years, honestly. Like, say
so?
swear.
He's got like a 4-year contract.
Yeah, you're right. And he's a lot like I mean, how different is he than like the Bogdanovich?
Yeah,
not brothers,
literally, like,
but
Luke Kennard, like,
yeah, they're all the same
very
player.
similar players. Do you want to just make Kevon Herter?
Yeah, Kevon Herter.
Just because he's in Sacramento. My last loser is the Knicks. You already said it. Yeah, the fact that you and they were a loser of the draft too. Just a loser of the entire offseason. Just in New York, the Nets and Knicks, losers, just straight losers. I had Bradley Beal as a winner too, just because he got the absolute duff. But that was pretty much it.
If you're in New York and you're a basketball fan of the NBA, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be shit next year.
It is gonna be bad.
Good luck.
That's pretty much it for this episode. This is gonna be our last episode on the Roadcaster, which is our podcasting setup. We have a new one with us actually. But we wanted to make this like the last episode of this one. So.
That's not why we did it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like telling people that. So yeah, expect like a new intro song, a new this or that. Sauce Draft. We've been talking about it for like 2 months. It's coming. It will be out.
We will
eventually.
make a sauce
Maybe
draft.
that'll be the first episode on the new one.
No.
If Kevin Durant gets traded too, we will do an emergency pod.
Yep.
Like we 100% will.
Well, I'll have that. We might as well take 2 mics with us places. Boom, click, let's go.
Yeah, we
Film
could just do that.
podcast.
All right, I gotta
hype.
go to the bathroom.
Me too.
All right, later.
Peace.